9/11 changed my life as profoundly as Willowbrook did. Much more than Al Capone's vaults, much more than the broken nose. Those were just kind of a continuation of a theme. 9/11 was different because everything I had built professionally in my life was uprooted by 9/11, as surely as if that plane had hit my building. I was at CNBC. I had the highest rated show on the network. My office in Fort Lee was intentionally made 1 foot bigger in all its dimensions than Tom Brokaw's office, because Tom Brokaw represented, again, the news establishment at NBC, but I was the one that getting the ratings. So although he was successful in keeping me off the nightly news, he had no control over either my Dateline specials or the fact that I controlled CNBC, so they gave me this vast office. Not only that, but by then I had met Erica, my young and beautiful now wife, and although she couldn't stay on staff, I met her through, she was a producer for someone else, but I met her through CNBC. And she couldn't stay on staff, but they gave her a freelance position and allowed her to travel with me, and we had a house in Malibu. So here I was with a much younger, fantastically beautiful wife, with a house on the beach in Malibu, a house in New York, living a life where everything was first class. You know, I stayed at the best hotels. Erica's first class travel accompanying me was paid for by the network. And I could do any story I wanted, witness Clinton or Simpson, or I think Gary Condit was the big story of that year, 2001. But I happened to be, because of my flamboyant lifestyle, in bed in Malibu when the towers got hit. My kids, my then, let's see, how old would she be? She was first grader. My first grader and my third grader were with their mom in the townhouse I had just bought for them on 93rd and Park, near Spence, their school. I immediately got on the phone, couldn't get through to see how they were, because I got a phone call, turn on the Today Show, and there it was all happening. I immediately tried to reach my ex-wife, see how my kids were doing. Couldn't get through. I called the desk, let me in on this story, we'll go live from here. No response. In fact, they preempted the network and put Brokaw on CNBC. I think MSNBC was already labeled MSNBC, and the NBC network. So Brokaw was on all of NBC's outlets. Preempted. I couldn't get on the air. I couldn't get home to see how my children were. I was absolutely traumatized. I ultimately came home through Canada and Connecticut, and finally got in and got on. It happened early in the week, and by Thursday or so I was on the air. But then I said, when it became clear that it was an attack, an Al-Qaeda attack, and that Afghanistan was the base of the terrorists who launched the attack. And we lost 6 dads. Before they moved to 93rd Street, we were living when we were married, I was living with my family in Rumson, New Jersey. They went to Rumson Country Day. We lost 6 dads from Rumson Country Day. It was all, Cantor Fitzgerald was based in Middletown. It became the, per capita, was the worst area to be hit by 9/11. So I had this rage, this frustration that I wasn't being allowed to tell the story, and this rage at the people who had done this, who killed so many of my friends and neighbors. I said, I've got to go to Afghanistan. I've been there before. I did drug specials there. I'm the only one that knows the tribal territories, the Khyber Pass. I've got to go. You've got to let me go. No. We have war correspondents. We have that. You have the #1 rated show. You have to stay here. So I picked up the phone. I called Roger Ailes, who was at Fox News, and I said, if I get out of my deal here, will you make me a war correspondent? Will you give me a job? As war correspondent, not as an anchor. And he said yes. And almost exactly 10 years ago, November 14th, 2001, I started here And November 16th, 2001, I was in Islamabad, and November 17th, I was in the Khyber Pass, and then I was the war correspondent for Fox News, and now it's 10 years later.